Welcome to Apex Legends. Do you enjoy fun movement, intense action, and tight endgames? Well, come join us as we check out the latest action in the hit game of Apex. I can't see Bangalore here. Level 1, a playable legend in the game Apex Legends. Use those smokes to make cover, ladies. Oscar Mike. If you've played Apex Legends or hell, been aware of the game recently, you probably know that one legend in Apex has stood at the top of every meta consistently for well over a year now. Bangalore. But many of you probably don't know why Bangalore has become as renowned as she is, and the story of how the legend, once considered the most balanced in the game, became the one legend pro teams couldn't live without. So why not come sit with me as I tell you the story of why Bangalore is the dumbest Apex legend. Wait, isn't a title supposed to be here? Oh. So, what does Bangalore do exactly? Smoke grenades are the game for Bangalore. Her tactical ability sends out a cluster of smoke grenades out at the point she aims at, creating a line of smoke that blocks vision for all players through it. Smokes can be used to block off sightlines, obscure your position, disorient enemies, disengage from a fight. Really, smoke can be used anywhere. Watch, I can get out of paying this restaurant bill with one simple— oh shit, there's a no smoking sign. For a passive, Bangalore has the skill Double Time, where anytime she is shot at, she gains a speed boost for a few seconds, allowing her to get away from sticky situations. Combined with her smokes, these two abilities let Bangalore dance in a team fight far more easily than most characters. And her flexibility is amplified when she pulls out her ultimate, Rolling Thunder. Bangalore calls in a massive missile strike that explodes in a row after falling, damaging enemies close to them and stunning targets for a short period. If you get put on the back foot, there's really no better way to stall the push than by throwing air raid sirens at the enemy. Between her smokes, her speed, and her powerful stalling ultimate, Bangalore since the beginning of Apex Legends has always been a good character to play. In fact, Bangalore was so widely considered good that she was often called the most balanced legend in Apex. That isn't hyperbole either. Bangalore holds the record for longest period of 0 patch notes changes. The last change she got on May 4th, 2021 was made to thicken her smoke a little. Thankfully, we were all wearing masks around this time, so we didn't have to breathe it in too much. 6 feet, 6 feet! That record ended on August 8th, 2023, 2 years later when her kit was nerfed. And then again in October. And then again in March the next year. Really? Why is she getting such big hits? Wasn't she the most balanced? Surely people agree that this wasn't necessary, right? Finally, about time. To be frank, seeing every team in ALGS pop smokes every other second was getting annoying. Good riddance! Finally, a nerf! Oh. Wow. What exactly happens between then and now to cause this massive shift in Bangalore? Nothing changed about the character until now, so what did? To understand that, you have to understand the meta. When I say meta, I don't mean the best legends to pick in ranked or pub-stomping wraiths and pathfinders. I mean the competitive meta, the one used at the comp level of play that determines the best legends and strategies to play in a tournament. And this meta, it's a little weird. The comp meta is what I like to call the stress test. Professional players like to stick to playstyles and compositions that they know how to play and know they can win with, and only shift away from those playstyles when a new meta can counter or massively improve the way they currently play. So when a meta forms in Comp Apex, that meta is adopted by nearly everybody who plays in it, until something new can crack the foundations of that meta and take its place. But the thing that the Comp meta has always done is take the tools in it and maximize every potential advantage they have, and that is shown in the legends they played. The first ever official comp meta in Apex was the Wraith Wattson Pathfinder meta. Early on in the game, the most common way of playing was to find a spot in the ring and hold it as long as possible. You'd use Wraith to portal you into better positions in the mid-game, Pathfinder to find angles in fights, and Wattson to defend your holding spot. It was also a meta that led to silly situations like this. Go ahead, Drop your portal. No, you drop yours first. No, you first. No, you. No, you. No, you. No, you. But the reason why these three in particular were played was because they had advantages that nobody else could achieve. Wraith's portal was considered the greatest rotational ability at the time. That was on top of her small hitbox and get out of jail free card of a tactical that allowed her to control space and find good opportunities. Watson's infinite pylon prevented any grenades from disrupting your holdout, and the fences stopped any team from making an easy walk-up. And Pathfinder was the only legend with the ability to scan survey beacons, which at the time was the only way to find out the next ring location. The power that these three legends possessed became abundantly clear when 20 teams in a lobby were playing them, and it's through Comp Apex pushing their power to the forefront that eventually led to these three legends receiving hard nerfs, as well as having some of their powers more evenly distributed to other legends. This is all a very long way of saying that the comp meta is really good at finding the strengths of the legends in that meta, and squeezing them for all the power they can give. But what does this all have to do with Bangalore? Well, nothing, really. Wait, don't leave, I have a point here. It has nothing to do with Bangalore because Bangalore never made her way into the comp meta. Pro players before recently never really tried to make Bangalore a meta option. While there were a few pros who advocated for her use, most favored other alternatives. So Bangalore, despite always being seen as a good character, never received the stress test that Comp Apex puts legends through. And that's an important fact to know when we reach the ALGS Year 3, where a massive new meta had formed around the duo of Seer and Horizon. Seer at this point in time was the most dominant legend in the game. With his scanning abilities, he could see every movement you made in a fight. And let me tell you a little something about the greatest word in Apex: filibuster.
Pow, right in the kitchen.
Seer could cancel any action in the game. Revives, healing, abilities, all of it could be blocked with one use of Seer's tactical. And Horizon was arguably even more oppressive than Seer. Her ability to lift her team to any height and break open a fight with a devastating black hole was the way most of the old meta before them was broken apart, leaving us with the most aggressive meta we have ever seen in Apex. And this aggressive meta coincided with the rise in the controller meta. At this point in time, the power of aim assist on controller had finally been recognized by pro teams. And every new pro to the scene was a new roller demon capable of destroying an entire squad with a few clips of an R99. Pairing the most aggressive legend meta with the most powerful input in close range made for the greatest shift in playstyles we had ever seen in Apex Legends. Everybody was looking to fight, and everybody had the tools to do it. But much like metas in the past, the power of this meta got stretched to its limits, and players were trying to find a way to break it. This was when Bangalore entered the competitive stage. Fun fact, there is a niche interaction with Bangalore smokes that hadn't been relevant until now. To prevent players from being able to perfectly track targets through bang smoke, aim assist was negated anytime either you or the target were inside of a smoke. So teams looking to counteract the power of a controller Horizon diving in and one-clipping you had seen this and found a new counter. Thus, Bangalore finally made her way into Apex's comp meta. And as more and more teams picked up Bangalore, her first official stress test took on the main stage. A test that would reveal a power that would dwarf even Seer and Horizon. Let's put ourselves in a different scenario. If there is a smoke between two teams with no other variables, both have an equal amount of visibility for each other. So both teams have an equal chance of beating the other in this scenario. Now, let's add the variable of Seer to one team. Said Seer then places down his ultimate. Now one team can see the other team through the smoke, while the other team can't. Who wins? Obviously, it's the Gibraltar asserting his dominance in the middle. As Bangalore came into the meta, visibility through the smokes became the game to win. If you could see through the smoke before your opponent did, you would win the engagement most of the time. A powerful new playstyle came to the forefront, and the game would shift again to try and correct it, nerfing Seer to take him out of the picture. But this shift only made the meta center instead around Bangalore. Why? Well, let me just look through this scope to tell you. The digital threat scope had been in the game since the beginning, but largely wasn't picked up by pros in games because the model covered up so much of the screen. But the Digithreat would get a massive change in opinion right after Seer left the meta in Year 3. You see, Digithreats had one unique trait. The Digi would highlight enemies through smoke. Not only that, but the Digithreat had never been as widely available as it was at the start of the Bang meta. Not only was it available on replicators on certain days, but it was also able to spawn in assault bins at higher rates. Hi, so recording Bird here, quick edit. You don't actually get digital threat scopes from assault bins at a high rate. That was wrong. You do, however, get them from the armories that I failed to mention in this portion. The armories were removed in Season 19, but you could get them here. Okay, back to the video. Bangalore may have entered the comp scene as a counter to controller play, but she quickly grew to become the most dominant legend in the game. And now that every pro team was running at Bangalore, oftentimes alongside a Catalyst, your average viewing experience looked like this.
Coming in, but Optic Gaming, they want to third this. Ascend,
First
and
for
now
Ascend.
TYK duel it out.
Just in the nick of time to see some. Element 6 rotating around. They actually combine to take out Sentinels.
That's right. If you were a viewer of the ALGS, you sat in the stands watching a fight be casted with the intensity of a grand final, only to have no idea what was actually happening. Players too would be left frustrated, as the only way they'd often see what was going on in an endgame was through the small square of a Digithreat scope. These Apex games still had a ton of amazing moments, but in the minds of many, it was overshadowed by the thick gray haze that every movement and every action was accompanied by. To put it candidly, this meta of Comp Apex was dumb. Bangalore finally being put through the stress test revealed one of the most powerful mechanics in the game to many, and finally made Respawn take action to prevent it from happening. Over the course of the past year, efforts have been made to remove the visibility meta. The Digithreat was removed, and being inside a smoke now highlights anyone else inside of it. And that was that. Bangalore had been nerfed, and for good reason. But you see, a funny little thing happened. Remember those tweets I showed earlier praising the Bangalore nerfs? Well, that was only half the picture. There was literally no need, like actually none. Y'all keep touching her for what reason? Why? Just why? Bang wasn't even that arrogant at high levels. Arrogant? Wait, what? Damn, being in the meta really got to Bangalore's head, man. Despite Bangalore widely being considered broken in the comp scene during this time, over in ranked play and even more so casual play, Bangalore had stayed pretty much the same as she did before she became meta. How she was played by most had largely stayed the same, because, in essence, she never became better. Competitive only found out how to use her. And in fact, even after all of the changes made to bring her down, Bangalore is still a staple in the comp meta. Despite everything, it's still Bangalore. Only now she is appreciated at every level of the game. And that's the story of Bangalore. A little interesting one. I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit. But I guess it's time to rest. Hey, Bang, pass the blunt.